Of course, anytime you lose someone in the line of duty under circumstances like this, I just can't put into words.
For the second time this week, a Metro officer has lost his life. He was involved in a deadly crash. Now fellow officers have to prepare themselves to bury two of their law enforcement brothers. Plus, historic health care legislation passes a key Senate hurdle. What tonight's vote means for you and your family.
Now, Nevada's first choice for news. This is Channel 8 News Now, Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Drawhorn. Chris is off tonight. It's been a tragic week for Metro Police. For the second time in just 2 days, the department has lost an officer in the line of duty. Corrections officer Daniel Leach died early this morning in a car crash. He was driving a transport van to Laughlin. Reporter Amanda Hernandez joins us now with details on another sad day for Metro. Amanda.
Yeah, Aaron, now the last 6 months we covered 4 tragic stories like this, and everyone and officers lost his life. The accident that took Officer Daniel Leach's life is still under investigation as many of his fellow officers, along with his family, grieve for a man that served this community for 25 years. With respect and honor, officers stood in salute of one of their own, a life lost in the line of duty. For this department, tragedy has been ongoing.
This has been a difficult week for the men and women who make up the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department family. Within 3 days, we have lost 2 of our members. And within 6 months, we have lost a total of 4 officers.
Just miles from Searchlight along the US 95, the wreckage leaves no question of how deadly this crash was. The front of the corrections van tells the story alone.
A heavy-duty 10-wheel truck pulling 2 trailers pulled onto US 95 in front of Officer Leach's vehicle. Officer Leach's vehicle struck the left rear quarter of the last trailer. He died instantly.
Officer Daniel Leach was 49, and for the past 25 years he worked as a corrections officer. His trip was a familiar one, running a van from Las Vegas to the Tucker Holding facility in Laughlin.
Of course, anytime you lose someone in the line of duty under circumstances like this, I just can't put into words.
Sheriff Gillespie says the last few months have been filled with hardships for his officers, but they stand still ready to serve.
I can tell you this, this organization is strong, and we will prevail. We will move forward as we have in the past.
Officer Leach lived in Boulder City with his wife and 2 children. The sheriff says while the department appreciates the outpouring of support from the community, he says the real focus should be on the families of these fallen officers. Aaron?
Amanda, this is the 3rd time an officer has died in a traffic accident this year. Is the sheriff still talking about possible changes to the department's driving policy? Did he talk about that? He did.
He did mention that today, and he says that he is meeting with higher-ups and really kind of putting together that plan. However, he said he didn't really want to go into detail about that today because he did, of course, want to focus on the loss of this officer.
Understandably so. Thank you, Amanda. This is, again, this is the 4th Metro officer to die this year. On Thursday, 30-year-old Trevor Nettleton was gunned down in his garage. He had just gotten off work when he was ambushed by at least 3 would-be robbers at his North Las Vegas home. His wife and 2 young children were all inside. They were not harmed. 3 people have since been arrested, including a 17-year-old boy. All are facing a number of charges, including murder, attempted robbery, and conspiracy to commit robbery, all with added gang enhancements. Nettleton had been on the police force for 3 years. It was just last month Metro Officer Milburn Millie Beidel was laid to rest. He was killed when the police cruiser he was driving crashed near Nellis in Washington. An investigation revealed Beidel was speeding when he lost control. His sirens were also not on, and he and the other officer in the patrol car were not wearing their seatbelts. Speed was also a factor in the death of Officer James Manor. He was killed in a car crash on Flamingo near Tenaya Way. He was responding to a domestic violence call when he was hit by another driver. Both Officer Manor and Officer Beidel were laid to rest with full Metro honors. Services are now set for Officer Nettleton, who will get the same honors. The visitation takes place Tuesday at Palm Mortuary on North Jones from 3 until 7. His funeral will be Wednesday morning at 11 at St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Roman Catholic Catholic Church in Summerlin. The Injured Police Officers Fund has also set up an account at Nevada State Bank to help Nettleton's wife and children. For more information, go to our website, lasvegasnow.com. The keyword is police. A vigil will be held Monday in honor of Officer Leach and Officer Nettleton. The prayer and candlelight vigil will be open to the public. It will take place at 4 p.m. at the Bolden Area Command, that's off of MLK and Lake Mead. The legislation to reform health care is still making its way through the Senate. Democrats got the votes they needed tonight to proceed to debate the bill. Catherine Brown has more tonight from Washington.
The yeas are 60. The nays are 39.
The first round goes to the Democrats. Senators just barely passed a measure Saturday night that keeps the health care reform legislation alive.
We have an historic opportunity to get this done, and it will not be easy. I know that. We've got a lot of work in front of us.
The rare Saturday session was scheduled for a critical vote on whether to begin debate on the health care bill passed by the House 2 weeks ago. All 39 Republican senators present voted no.
Move over, Bernie Madoff. Tip your hat to $1 trillion scam.
This 20 pounds is the size of many people's turkey next week. That's what most people in North Carolina think about the bill.
To keep the reform bill on the table, Democrats needed to muster the support of all 58 senators in their party and 2 independents.
It saves lives, it saves money, and it saves Medicare. Pretty good deal, I would think.
The close vote demonstrates the struggle Democrats will face to pass the legislation. Even some Democratic senators say their votes to allow debate do not mean they approve of the bill itself.
Although I don't agree with everything in this bill, I have concluded that I believe it is more important that we begin this debate to improve our nation's health care system for all Americans, rather than just simply drop the issue and walk away.
Senators will now head to their home states for a holiday break, but their vacations will be short as the lengthy debate over the bill begins in earnest. Catherine Brown for CBS News, Washington.
Nevada Senator Harry Reid is praising Democrats for their historic vote tonight. He says they still have a long road ahead of them, but are on the right track to keep things moving. He says once the debate begins, the American people will know exactly how it will help them, he says, and their families.
They'll see our plan. They've had since Wednesday to look at it. They'll see more. Our plan saves lives, saves money, and saves Medicare. And they'll see the Republican alternative, which I'm sorry to say is non-existent. So obviously it keeps our broken system just the way it is and lets it get even worse.
That video was provided to us by Senator Reid's office. He says the bill will lower the cost of health care, eliminate waste of taxpayer dollars, and reduce the federal deficit by $130 billion over the next 10 years. Senator John Ensign opposes the legislation, he says, because it means higher taxes and cuts to Medicare Advantage. After years of construction, City Center is getting ready to open a number of properties. Thousands of employees gearing up for their first day, including the 400 hired at the Mandarin Oriental. They got a sneak peek today of what their work life will be like at the luxury hotel. And the Runnin' Rebels tried to run their record to 3-0 to begin the new season. Michael Berks with highlights later in sports.
Nevada's first choice for news. This is Channel 8 News Now, Weekend Edition.
Hundreds of employees at the Mandarin Oriental were shown a glimpse of their working future at the luxury hotel. Today they were treated to a fashion show where they had a chance to see what their uniforms will look like. The room was filled with those just out of college thankful for their first job, up to veteran hotel workers who have been struggling to find work in this economy.
A lot of people, especially on my team, were looking for work, and some who had to pick up a couple jobs, because they got laid off from previous jobs.
I think it's fantastic that this opportunity is available for them, and they're again back into the action, and of course in the Mandarin, which is just absolutely amazing.
Each worker also received a special pin with the Mandarin Oriental emblem. The company says it's their way of welcoming its new employees to the family. Mandarin Oriental is one of 4 city center properties opening up next month. Vidara will be the first hotel to open December 1st. Then on the 3rd, Crystal's Retail and Entertainment Complex opens with 75 shops and restaurants. The Mandarin Oriental will open up the 4th, leading up to the only casino in the resort, Aria. That hotel and casino opens December 16th. A Grammy-winning artist is fighting to keep wild horses here in Nevada. Plus, university students in California want their voices to be heard. They're holding protests across the state, hoping administrators will listen to them. And authorities are looking into possible leaking of private patient information from UMC. Hospital officials say the information may have been sold.
First choice for news. This is Channel 8 News Now, Weekend Edition.
We're back to the 60s. Protests have rocked state universities in California. Students are angry over tuition hikes officials say must become reality. Many are locking themselves in university buildings while others are taking their fight to the streets. Rick Vincent has more.
It looked like a scene from Berkeley in the 1960s. A protest over tuition hikes at California's state schools took a chaotic turn Friday as demonstrators squared off with police. Some protesters took to occupying buildings. This footage shows police removing people at UC Berkeley's Wheeler Hall. The first fee hike takes effect in January and raises undergraduate tuition to $8,373. A second increase next fall increases that to $10,302. Officials say the tuition hike is needed to prevent even further deeper cuts due to California's persistent financial crisis. Students say enough is enough.
They're increasing our fees and then decreasing the amount of classes available to us. It just doesn't make sense, and it's not fair to the students.
They barricaded the doors so that the police cannot come in.
Meanwhile, some students who occupied a building at the University of California at Los Angeles decided to document their experience.
Jam the elevators, and this is on every floor, so the elevators can't go up and down.
Police in Berkeley have decided to take a cautious approach with the demonstrators, mostly issuing citations as opposed to making actual arrests.
Education must be free.
I'm Rick Vincent reporting from Atlanta.
A building sit-in at the University of California at Santa Cruz is still going on tonight, now on its 3rd day. The student protesters delivered a list of demands involving increasing funding for school programs, but the school says it has no plans to negotiate. Administrators say they don't have the money to give the demonstrators what they want. The military officer accused of killing 13 people at Fort Hood had his first day in court today. Major Nadal Hassan faced a judge from his bedside at Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio. The hearing was closed to the general public. It was to decide whether he should remain in pre-trial detention. Hassan is paralyzed from the waist down as a result of being shot by police officers that day. A prominent Texas criminal defense attorney is weighing in on the case. He says the real goal of Hassan's attorney should be not to get him off the hook, but rather save his life.
If I can bring people from another fort, which the Army has the authority to do, or I can take it to another location, I'm not trying the case in the middle of a macabre situation.
Hassan faces 13 counts of murder. So far, the government has not said if it will seek the death penalty. Elsewhere in the news, an FBI investigation is underway here at University Medical Center. Authorities are looking into whether or not someone leaked private patients' information. Hospital officials believe at least one employee may have sold the documents to local attorneys. Right now, UMC is trying to figure out how many patients may have been affected. Leaking patient information is a violation of federal privacy laws, and it can carry jail time and fines. Grammy Award-winning artist Sheryl Crow says the roundup of wild horses in Nevada is inhumane and unnecessary. Crow is now taking her fight to Washington. She's asking the president and Interior Secretary Ken Salazar to scrap the roundups and protest horse herds. The BLM says it plans to remove nearly 12,000 horses and burros from the range over each of the next 3 years. It says the booming numbers of the animals is damaging the range. Mother Nature is making her presence known down under. She's bringing extreme temperatures, wind, and lightning, all sparking 100 wildfires. We'll have more coming up next on 8 News Now.
Now, Nevada's first choice for news. This is Channel 8 News Now, Weekend Edition.
Catastrophic alerts issued in Australia after record-breaking temperatures and wild lightning storms sparked more than 100 fires across the country. Fire crews are trying to protect hundreds of homes, and many people have been told to evacuate. Because of the 100-plus degree temperatures and high winds, officials have issued a total fire ban there. They say they don't want to take any chances. In Britain, people brace themselves for more rain today following the wettest day in recorded history. It also killed one police officer. Dozens also trapped in their homes there. Floodwaters have reached 8 feet in some areas, and it could get much worse. 4 bridges have also collapsed because of all of that water. More than 12 inches fell in 24 hours. That is the heaviest rainfall ever recorded in the United Kingdom. That's in the northwest, right near the Irish Sea. It's wet and, chilly this time of year there, too.
I don't care how much, grass there is or whatever, 12 inches of rain, that much amount of time, it's going to be devastating.
Right, especially here. We could not handle that.
I think we'd be in big trouble. Yeah. I think you and I'd have to get canoes.
Yeah. Get out the waders, too.
Yeah, we could use some rain, obviously not that much. They're getting a lot of rain in Seattle. We, however, just got a few clouds today, but it has been a fantastic day. Temperatures in the 60s. Look at the view here from the golf course down Southern Highlands. Nice. Mostly clear skies. That's the way it is this evening, too. The winds relaxed just in time for you as you got up this morning. Most of the gusts were really around 4 a.m. After that, things really started to quiet down just in time for everybody to get up for breakfast. Right now, upper 40s to 50s. At this time yesterday, we were already in the 50s, so we've already surpassed that. So tonight's going to be another chilly night tonight. 24 for Mount Charleston right now for your current temp. Boulder City at 52, 45 for Indian Springs. All right. The lows overnight, like we said, upper 40s to 50s across the valley. We've seen it colder than this time of the year. 52 for the lake, 23 for Mount Charleston, 45 for Overton. Highs for the day today shot right back up to the upper 60s to 70s in some locales around town. Take your pick. Flamingo Boulder Highway, 71. 70 for Camino El Dorado, 71 for the lake, 75 for Laughlin, 60s Mesquite. Indian Springs came in at the big 65. All right, let's take a look at our high for the day today. Temps shot up to 67 degrees. Another day, chalk up another day above average temperatures. Our normal is 63. We bottomed out at a mild 54 degrees overnight. Going to be colder tonight. A lot of people taking off for Thanksgiving. Heavy rain in Seattle for tomorrow. Boston, Chi-Town coming into the 50s. Dallas at 69. Clear and sunny in New York. LA a mild 73 degrees. Possible airport delays in Seattle tomorrow. I would check in with LasVegasNow.com to check on any airport delays there. Speaking of rain in Seattle, still coming down from the Grays Harbor County area all the way over to Seattle, up and down the I-5 corridor there. Also snow in the mountains. And look at the Rose City of Portland. Heavy rain at times right now from here to the coast. They expect that still going on for tonight. Not been a good week for the Pacific Northwest. Still looking at a lot of rain, even heavy rain at times here in the Florida Panhandle, most of Alabama, and all this now is starting to push into Georgia there, all ahead of this system that's just churning off the coast. There's a look at it. We had one system push through. We've got these two that are going to head to the Pacific Northwest that will provide some cloud cover tomorrow. High pressure off the coast here will give us a warming trend for the week ahead. Gotta like that. 42 degrees, mainly clear skies tonight. Calm winds. We're at 66 tomorrow. Sunny and very comfortable. A few clouds in the mix with winds on the light side. A few breezes, I think, tomorrow. But look at the week ahead. 60s here. Turkey Day, almost 70 degrees. Nice. Thursday, nice and sunny. We'll cool off a little bit for Friday and Saturday. Most of the week in the upper 60s, like we said, to mid-60s, but near 70 for Thanksgiving. You might as well have turkey outside.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Just chill out.
Exactly, sounds good.
Only in Vegas.
Thanks, Ted. Sure. Well, packing the MAC tonight, Michael?
Yeah, good crowd tonight and a good game as it turned out. Yeah, coming up next in sports, an early hole, then a big run to dig out. Rebels battled back and hoped it was enough to beat the Salukis. And arguably the game of the year with Rose Bowl implications. Oregon, Arizona played like two teams who very much would like to be in Pasadena on January 1st. 8 News Now. Back after this.
Wake up the way Las Vegas starts the day.
Because waking up is a lot more fun with friends.
Every day on 8 News Now this morning. From Channel 8 News Now, sports with Michael Berks.
The running Rebels managed to overcome a 12-point deficit to beat UNR on Wednesday, and they did it to themselves once again tonight. 2-0 UNLV hosting 2-0 Southern Illinois. First half action for the Salukis. It's John Freeman working hard underneath for 2 of his 11 points, 18-6. Salukis led by 12, but UNLV went on an 18-2 run. Kendall Wallace, big 3 from the corner to make it a 1-point game, and it's going to be Derek Jasper finding Trayvon Willis a 3 from the wing, give the Rebels a lead, but they did trail at the half. The Rebel goals. Second half, Rebels shot 77%. Chase Stanback, nice pass to Matt Shaw, who had 13 points. Coach Tark and LJ won a few games in that building. And then Oscar Belfield, nice no-look shovel pass to Darius Santee and a 65-56 lead. Running Rebels moved to 3-0 behind a big night from Trayvon Willis.
Well, you know, there's always room for improvement, though. I like this team because this team has a mindset of going to practice each day and getting better. Was watching extra film, getting extra shots, and we got to continue to do things, be good ball clubs like Southern Illinois.
Consistently, we've made progress. You know, if we hadn't, we wouldn't have had a chance to beat SIU. I really like their team, and Coach Lowry does a terrific job, and they're tough. And I like the progress we're making, and I think most importantly, these guys understand we got a long way to go.
And the Rebels will host Holy Cross on Wednesday and then a visit from Louisville next Saturday afternoon. UFC 106 featured the return of Tito Ortiz, a couple of former light heavyweight champs in the main event at Mandalay Bay. Ortiz and Forrest Griffin. Not exactly the comeback fight Ortiz was hoping for. He dropped a split decision despite opening a cut on Griffin's eye with an elbow coming up right here. This was a rematch of their 2006 bout won by Ortiz. Griffin gets revenge by taking control in the third, even kicking the mouthpiece right out of Tito. 30-27 and 29-28 the scores for Griffin in tonight's split decision. 2 of the Pac-10's top teams played the league's best game of 2009. Oregon, Arizona in Tucson. Winner controls its Rose Bowl destiny on senior night in Arizona. 24-24 fourth quarter. Just after Oregon scored 10 straight to tie the game, here's Arizona's answer. A bubble screen to Jerron Kreiner, and this bubble nearly burst Oregon. 71 yards for a 31-24 lead. Ducks got it back, went 80 yards in 3 minutes. Jeremiah Mazzoli, 11 seconds to go. Finds Ed Dixon. The game goes to overtime. They match touchdowns in the first OT. Wildcats ahead 3 in the second. Ducks can win it here, and Mazzoli does. On the keeper, gets across for a 44-41 Oregon win. They'll host a winner-take-all Civil War with Oregon State on December 3rd. Elsewhere in college football, 4th-ranked TCU at Wyoming today. First quarter, 10-3, TCU on the move, but Ed Wesley coughs it up, and Chris Prasnitsky is in the right place at the right time. Scoops it up, there he goes, they won't catch him, 90 yards on the return. It's a 10-10 game in Laramie. Third quarter, TCU up 7, Andy Dalton quickly becoming a Heisman candidate, over the middle to Jeremy Curley, and he breaks free for a 45-yard score, and 4th-ranked TCU breaks free. They win again, 45-10 the final today in Laramie. Ford 300, the nationwide season finale. Las Vegas Kyle Busch clinched by doing nothing more than starting his engine. His lead was that big. 37 laps to go, though. Kyle doesn't need to do this, but he does. He only knows how to race one way, and that's hard. Kyle takes the checkered flag, easily clinching the 09 nationwide season championship. Tomorrow, Jimmy Johnson will race for his 4th straight Sprint Cup title. He needs only to finish 25th to clinch, and he can still win if he finishes below that number. And the Chargers can officially regain control of their season with a win tomorrow in Denver. It would be their 5th in a row, and put them a game in front of the Broncos in the AFC West standings.
The games are always very meaningful, like they all are. But you know, Denver and us have been battling for the division just about every year the past few. So it's always fun to go back there and play.
And of course, that game can be seen at 1 o'clock right here on the Ocho, following the Colts and the Ravens. So good doubleheader tomorrow. Yeah, good doubleheader for us tomorrow.
The Ocho, I like it. Thanks, Michael. And that's it for 8 News Now, live at 11. Have a great night, everyone.